using it and doing well. So my first question is, just in your own words, like how are things going so far?
I mean, I think it's great. I mean, it's definitely uh allowed me to like kind of when we initially talked, right? I was talking about like feeling like I was standing still and feeling like I would start something and then something would get in the way, right? Like I'd either have a hard set of shifts or something would come up at home, and I just always felt like I was good for a week and starting right back at square one. And like this is kind of to me, this kind of given me like the framework and the focus and the motivation to kind of, you know, refocus on things like actionable things that I can do like at home and at work. And I also like really like the flexible consistency aspect where it's like, hey, you know what? You didn't get you had a knockdown drag out shift. You didn't get your steps in, but you did these other three things. You had these three wins, and well, tomorrow we'll get back on the horse. So to me, that's like that's great. That's a great aspect. The accountability thing with like having somebody assigned, it's kind of like Angie's great. And hopefully I haven't given her too much of a reason to like put the hammer down on me. you know um I try to stay accountable to myself so I don't have to be accountable to her.
Hmm.
But um yeah, that's great too. Like having somebody out there that's like kind of like rooting for you. And you know even when guys in the firehouse are like, "Hey, man, what are you doing? You're weighing your food. You're doing this bedtime routine. Like or like even I mean, my family's super supportive at home, but I've got a 20-year-old and a 21-year-old, and they're both gym rats. And I've kind of got some eye rolls like, Dad, what are you doing? Or you know, um, just having that like, and the community as a whole, like being able to see that other people are um making their attempts, and like getting their wins, and then being able to like offer advice to other people, and then like take other things that like they're doing on board, like, and it's all a bunch of firefighters, and the people that are like impacted by the same things that I'm impacted by, or that are maybe struggling with some things that I've struggled with in the past. And like, I can learn from them and hopefully they can learn from me. So, I mean, it's all like this is like a really good experience, like ongoing. So I'm like super thankful that I, just kind of like locked in and made a commitment.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah,
can I ask you like, I understand what you're doing and the eye rolls and the stuff like that seems to be the thing that we talked about that last week on the group call, right? Like what happens sometimes when you start like doing stuff for yourself, and
sure.
it's nothing other than you're just acting differently, and like
Right,
people have a perception of you, and then you start to change some things about your habits and their perception. So, and it can be like this cognitive dissonance, right? It's like, hey, what this isn't in alignment with what I'm familiar and comfortable with when it comes to this person, right?
right.
And that's so like they say often that like growth is uncomfortable. Sometimes it's not just uncomfortable for you.
Sure.
Sometimes it's uncomfortable for those around
Yeah.
you. And I guess what I'm wondering more specifically is like, how is your life different now with how you're feeling, operating, and performing, at home and at the station?
Yeah, I just feel like um I feel like I'm not killing myself to like uh to get everything done, right? Like whether it's like doing a, a ton of working out that like doesn't seem to move the bar forward, and just kind of like wrecks me even further, you know? I feel like I think I've mentioned on the calls like and the forums that like I do deal with some lingering stuff like maybe some tendonitis and maybe some you know pains in like one of my feet and one of my hands, and I mean that is like basically like gone, you know.
Mm.
So I think the mobility coupled with the strength, it's not just mobility. It's kind of like like I've seen you describe it. It's like a 60-40, right? I feel like my reps are getting better, my weight's getting better, my range of motion's getting better, my you know pain level or pain tolerance with just like little nagging, like a few nagging injuries, like knock on wood that I do have. I
Mm.
feel like that's getting better. My sleep's getting better at home and at work, so it takes me, and if I can't get quantity, I'm getting quality sleep. You know, so I feel like it takes me less effort to bounce back and get into a normal routine when I get off like a 48. And even like, I mean, we had two shifts on the 48 where like, man, I was lucky if we got like 5 hours and 20 minutes, at night.
Yeah.
But I woke up feeling like, hey man, I'm ready to start this day. And I never took a nap, like it used to be like, man, I got to get that safety nap, and I don't, and that's, if you need it, you need it, it's kind of like part of the culture, and I'm the first one to say as like an officer, like I need to take care of your basic human needs, it sounds romper roomish, but like I need to make sure you're rested, recovered, fed, pottied, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
but I've said that and I've kind of like neglected myself in that like equation, right? So I mean, that includes me, because I'm part of the crew, and I feel like I can I have more energy. I have more energy at work. I have more energy at home, and then we have more energy. It's like mentally and recovery wise. To me, it's just kind of like, especially being like the captain, it's like if you're getting off the rig out of shape and not physically ready for the job, you can't make good decisions, right? And you can't watch everybody else's back because you're gassed. You're just trying to keep up, right?
Mm.
And we think about that a lot of times, like from our physicality and our physical aspect, but I don't think we put two and two together and think about like this,
Mm.
like mentally, our mental space and our recovery space. I think we kind of, well, I'll just gut through this, because I can get through it. Like I'm 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 in shape. I'm not winded. I'm not sucking wind. Yeah, you're not sucking wind physically, but you're threadbare mentally, you know. And then that's when you're gonna like, you know, not make it. Your head's not going to be in the game. You're not going to make a good call. You're going to be short with like somebody on your crew, or you're going to be, you know, not really there for a citizen that's having a bad day, you know? And to me, I just feel like, man, I think it's like, not to use a buzzword, but like synergy, like the better eating, the focus on nutrition, the sleep protocol, the caffeine at the right time of the day, Um, I started the meditating this week, like the actual sitting down, the adding the 10 seconds, Um, man, it's just all it just feels like it's all building on itself, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't want to. I mean, I'm a month in, man. I'm not going to say like my whole entire life has changed. There's definitely like things I need to keep working on and things I haven't like addressed yet. But like I don't think like transformative is a bad word to use, you know? Like I think this is a good experience, and it's a good commitment, and it's a good framework, you know? And
Mm.
you know, I'm not a surfer, but not to be the stereotypical like West Coaster, but I'm stoked to see like what's next, you know,
Yeah.
and what other milestone I can set for myself and like stick to, and then you know that's it. I guess I'm probably rambling at this point, but it's just because I'm excited about the feeling I have like right now, and I want to keep like just want to keep digging in, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome to hear, man. And it is testament to you being the type of person that's going to dive headfirst into it. You know, like it's all the information and structure in the world. It goes back to the conversation that we first had, which was like the people that do really well, they dive headfirst. They lean in. You know, they
right,
actually act. They act on the information. It's not enough. Like, all that information is useless if you don't do anything with it,
right,
right? This is the one thing you got to do is put in some effort and just show up. And you know, the idea was that we would take care of the rest and help you develop into that type of person that can maintain and hopefully feel like this for the rest of your career and into your retirement.
right.
I got one more question too, just on this. Like, if you know, think back to the position that you were in when you first got started. I'm sure there was some hesitation to do something like this. And I guess if you had to talk to yourself back then, to the you know, being on the fence and to thinking like, hey, you know, I don't know if I should do this. Should I take the chance? Should I take the leap? Like, what would you say to yourself now, like with what you've gone through?
Yeah, I'd say, man, you're absolutely gonna feel better, you know. I mean, just it's it's worth it. It's worth it to take the chance on, yeah, it's worth it to take the chance on the program, but it's worth it to kind of take the chance on yourself, you know, because I mean,
Mm,
ultimately that's the hurdle, right? And that's the challenge is, do you want to keep surviving and just getting through things, you know, or do you actually want to like start to thrive and start to feel like not only yourself again, but like, you know, take a chance on feeling like a better version of yourself, you know,
mm,
or the person that you remember, whatever your motivation is, you know, like why would you not do that, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
100%. 100%, man. Uh, and I appreciate you bringing that to the table, man, and doing this because you're right. It is like when that decision comes down, it is about it's not about the program. It's like, hey, am I willing to take a chance on myself and embrace being uncomfortable a little bit? Because like to change these things means to change yourself, which is can be challenging and uncomfortable.
Right.
You know, but if you're willing to throw into that, like I would say, the best bet you can take on anyone is the bet you take on yourself, you
Right.
know?
Right.
And you've done that. I mean, you are clearly invested in this and it's really cool to see. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You know, and I love I love the line about like being fit is part of the uniform, you know, like fitting into your uniform is part of the uniform. Like you shouldn't like give up, you know, like
Mm.
like you should fight, you know, like
Yep.
it's in the word, it's firefighter, it's in the word, man, you know, like
Yeah.
fighter, right? Like fight for that like person that you remember, or that person that you want to be, right? That, like I said, that version of yourself, you know, and
Mm.
don't let it slip away without doing something about it. I mean, we're so, and I think I used it in the one of the calls, right? We're biased to action for others, but like we can be unbiased for ourselves, you know?
Mm.
And like if you're not willing to like put in the work, people see that and they might not say anything, but they see that, you know, and then it's not it's everybody, right? Your family, your friends, the people you work with, like we're so like in this mode of not having those hard conversations, with other people, but also like with ourselves,
Yeah.
and I mean it comes right down to that, like that like personal choice and that personal motivation, and I felt that getting in, and I feel that like now, and I feel like this was this was the right decision for me,
Mm.
in a month in hindsight, and the way I feel now, I want to see how I feel in at 2 months. I want to see how I feel at 3 months. I want to see how I feel at 4 months, and then like if these, I'm not going to say if, I'm going to say when all these like good habits are ingrained, man, I'm looking forward to however much time I have left, like on the job. I think I'm looking forward to uh, what this could do for me in retirement, you know? Why, 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 none of those things are negative, you know? And all those things like contribute to me being solid at home, solid at work when my people need something, or that little old lady needs her handheld in the nursing home, right? And needs a laugh, or the homeless person that doesn't have anything, right? Maybe they need a hug, I'm not above that, and I can give that because I have that like I have that extra to give now, or I mentioned like one of my guys, one of my overtimers, right? Like, man, forced into a 48 after his 48, like wanted to go home for Halloween, like came in like not in the best headspace, brother. Let's focus on things. Let's look at the bigger picture. What do you need,
Mm.
I'm good. I got what I need. I got extra in my cup. Now it's overflowing. Let me pour some into yours,
Mm. Awesome, man.
It's yeah, it's super. It's really, trying to live that message, and just remembering the type of guy I should be here, type of firefighter I want to be, and the type of officer I want to be for my people, you know?
You're living it, man. I appreciate you sharing all that. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Awesome.
sure.